Learning, perhaps the most important habit we can acquire in our life. If you're a student, professional, or entrepreneur, learning is the most vital point in order to get ahead. Therefore, if you're a student right now, you're the one of the luckiest person in the world. Your own job, your own task is to be a learner, to be a good learner. In the future, when you will start your own business or when you will start doing your own job, do not stop to learn new things. Because every time you have something to learn, every time you can find something which can motivate and you learn something new. There are a lot of videos, articles about how we can make the learning process more effective. We are going to learn about all of them later on in our channel, in our YouTube channel. We are going to discuss about the Richard Feynman technique, we are going to learn about the Pomodoro technique. But today, we are going to learn something new, something different. If you remember in our first video, when we talk about the summer camp, we say that the first step in order to be successful is not to start something new. The first step is to get rid of all the ideas, all the bad habits which stops us from starting new things. Therefore, today we are going to learn about the 5 study hacks which will help us to eliminate the bad habits which wastes our time and can turn anyone at any stage into a great learner. Highlighters can be a waste of time, says Professor Candida Thiel, a learner professor from the Stanford University. If I could have one chance to do something about the students, I will take away the highlighters. Just highlighting something doesn't mean that you have learned that subject, that topic really clearly. Instead of highlighting the mindless, the full of the topics, a lot of information, it's better to paraphrase into the sentence which will make a sense for you, into your own language, the language which you will understand, into the language which will make an impact on you. In that way, the same what Richard Feynman says in his techniques as well, but that one is a different topic which we are going to learn in the future. But paraphrasing into your own language by using your own sentence will make you understand more deeply about that topic. Because you're not really trying to commit it memory, you're trying to extract meaning out of it. Second common mistake most of the students, they're trying to spend a lot of time on the subject, on the topic which they easily understand, while discarding the things which makes it hard for them. But we have to find out the weakness and we have to convert that weakness into the strength. And the only way is doing is we have to spend on the things which is difficult for us. And usually students are thinking that if I'm good in math, I'm not good at English literature, or vice versa, if I'm good at English, I'm not good in math subjects. Our brain doesn't differentiate these two subjects actually. It's the effort which you're giving into the subjects. Of course, there's a different personalities. If you'll spend a lot of time on a subject which is quite difficult for you, at the end you will be really successful on that subject as well. Spending a lot of time on the subject which is easy for you is like wasting your time. You can't get your full of potential. Often students think, if I can move through something really quickly, that means that I learned it. And things that are hard for me, things that I struggle with, I'm not learning. This mentality leads the students to prioritize the time incorrectly. They're not spending the time on the things which they need to improve. Spending the time on the most difficult parts of the content will help the students to make the most of their study efforts. Really engaging in things that are hard and seem confusing is a much better study strategy than focusing on the information that all already understand, says Professor Thiel. I think most of the students knows about this one, but they're still doing it. Of course, it might be effective if you want to have an exam for the next day and you want to learn a lot of things at the same night. But if you want to use that information for the future, and if you want to use that information in your real life, you have to avoid this methodology, you have to avoid this strategy. Because in the future, it will be a habit for you to cramming everything. And of course, the cramming will put an extra stress on you. We have actively look up for the critical feedback. Usually, students are looking for the reassurance instead of the critical feedbacks. We want to hear the positive sides of our presentation, and we want to get the always good feedback from the teachers or from anyone else. But having a critical feedbacks will improve us. Again, it's related with the second point. We have to improve our weakness in order to stabilize our SWOT analysis. All of us will have a weakness and all of us will have a strength. And usually, if you have learned about the SWOT analysis, all the informations about the SWOT is easy to find except the weakness. Because we know our strength, but we don't know about our weakness. Therefore, we have to look out for the critical feedbacks. When it comes to learning, listening positive feedback is not always useful. Students often already know what their strengths are. And the last one, in my personal humble opinion, there's one thing which I would like to change in the students. I would like to say them and I would like to make them trust in themselves and learn that intelligence can be improved. It's not a fixed thing. There are not such things like math people or literature people. Our intelligence can be improved, and our intelligence will improve while we are learning the new things as well. We can't say I'm good at math but I'm not good in the literature again. Giving up is not an option for us. Professor says, if you have a strength and a weakness, it doesn't mean that we cannot capable of doing that things. We can improve our weakness again, and we can convert our weakness into the strength. That's not to say that there are individual differences. There aren't differences or predispositions. Of course there are. Let's give an example. You want to have the math examinations and you need to have a lot of practice in order to solve the questions. If you must solve a lot of questions, it doesn't mean that you are not capable of doing that one. The only thing you have to solve the questions. You have to practice over and over again. You can't say I'm not capable of doing the math questions. I'm not good at math. Everyone is good at math. Everyone is good at literature as well. Everything is determined by your intention. Everything depends on you. If you can't learn something, it's not a problem with your brain. It doesn't mean that your brain has been wired wrongly. It's only a matter of the time, and you have to practice it again and persist over again in order to achieve the success, in order to be successful.